For now, at least, the presidential advertising no longer saturates the airways of Oklahoma, but the impact of Oklahoma's Super Tuesday presidential primary is still being carefully looked at by political experts and campaign operatives because of how many people showed up to vote and because of the outcome. Pollsters are also looking at their methodology because just about all of them got Oklahoma wrong.
Presidential primaries are a difficult contest for pollsters, mainly because there are so many candidates and people tend to wait until the last minute to make up their minds who to vote for. Only one poll picked Senator Bernie Sanders to win the Democratic contest in Oklahoma on Super Tuesday, and none of the polls picked him to win by double digits.
If you look at those that voted by absentee or those that voted early up until Thursday and Friday, you'll notice that actually our pre-election polling was accurate, which means that something happened on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, and then into Tuesday.
Bill Shepard of Sooner Poll says that something was a record turnout by Republican voters and independents.
And so a lot of people voted that were not in any of our models. The point is that a lot of people made up their decision in the final days, and they even changed their decisions.
And the beneficiaries of that late in the race mind-changing were Bernie Sanders and Ted Cruz.
The two winners in both the Republican and the Democrat primary were the only ones that were aggressive in trying to win Oklahoma. They came to this state, they held rallies, they put operations on the ground, and they spent money on the airwaves.
Sarah Baker is communications director for the Oklahoma Democratic Party. She says the primary results prove a point the party is preaching to potential candidates.
When you have a good ground game and you have people out knocking doors and making contact, because that's how we won those two special elections. Representative Munson and Senator Dossett won those elections because they were out, they were making contact with voters.
459,542 Republicans cast ballots in Oklahoma on Super Tuesday. That was a new record. Party chairwoman Pam Pollard credits the turnout with the energy that is surrounding the Republican candidates and keeping their primary closed.
We are one of two other states, total of 3 states, who actually had closed primaries, which means only registered Republicans vote for the Republican candidate. It was a clear sign of who Republicans prefer.
Oklahoma is already known as the reddest state in the nation, and Pollard says that makes it a bellwether of where the party wants to go.
And I think people were using that to help build the momentum coming out of Oklahoma, closed state, Republicans voting for Republicans, and some of the most conservative Republicans in the nation.
For the first time, Oklahoma Democrats opened their primary contest to independent voters, and while it is widely believed they helped swing the victory to Sanders, their full impact is not yet clear.
There's a lot of speculation over what part that played, and we're trying to figure that out ourselves.
College-age students did vote heavily for Sanders, while the minority vote went for Clinton. And that's a voting bloc Oklahoma Democrats want to keep.
We have several caucuses that we're building within the party structure to reach out to more minority voters this election cycle, especially because Oklahoma is the widest primary state on Super Tuesday.
Looking at the bigger picture, University of Central Oklahoma political science professor Dr. Brett Sharp still sees a battle brewing for the Republicans when it comes convention time.
There's a lot of people who are kind of hoping for a brokered convention in the Republican Party, and I've heard serious talk about maybe literally dividing up the Republican Party, having a Republican Party in exile during the Trump era.
But Oklahoma was only one of 2 states that Ted Cruz won on Super Tuesday. Marco Rubio won only 1. Professor Sharp says Super Tuesday leaves the race for the White House looking very much like Hillary Clinton for the Democrats and Donald Trump for the Republicans in November.
And the dynamics between Cruz and Rubio, they're not fast friends, and I wouldn't be surprised if Cruz sort of sees his hopes fading, that he migrates, instead of going to Rubio, might migrate to Trump, kind of like Chris Christie did.
We're living in a very unusual time for presidential politics, and we're going to see where money and late-minute ground game is going to have an impact, particularly when the other candidates do not respond in kind.
Even though Ted Cruz won the primary in Oklahoma Tuesday, he didn't win that many more delegates than Trump. Of the state's 43 Republican delegates, Cruz gets 16, Trump 14, Marco Rubio 13. Senator Bernie Sanders gets 21 of the state's 38 pledged Democratic delegates, and Hillary Clinton earned the other 17.